making good compost tea, because that's our topic, Andy.
That's right. That's right.
Compost tea.
That's right. Is my voice okay? Because I can't hear myself. Is this okay?
Yeah. It's sounding, rather good today. No alien backgrounds or anything. So
So what I want to do is I want to cover the basics of how to make the best compost tea ever. And let me start with saying something. Okay, so I've been doing this a long time, and in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, more people are making compost tea than ever before.
mm-hmm.
And there's a guy who wrote a book about microbes, which I'm trying to get a hold of him, but he never responds to me because in the back he has, this is how we're spraying compost tea for our customers. And and so here's my gig on it is that, you can, just like compost, there's 100 people making compost. Yeah. You're probably going to find like 80 or 90 of them that's just the compost is just soil. It's just nothing else but soil. So basically it means that the quality of each depends upon the ability of the person to understand what they're doing. So you can't just make, compost that doesn't really have anything and then make a tea out of it and expect that tea to really do anything.
And Scotty.
Yo, fellows, long time no see. Hey, Scotty. We're talking about you, Scotty. Scotty, do you make compost tea? Go ahead. Tell me now. I have to look over here to comments. I can't see my mouth. I can't see my fingers. Oh, yo, fellas. So, Scotty. Hey, Scotty. Do you make? Okay, he's not answering. They're talking with Silly, having a good time. So,
yep.
So, what I'm trying to say is that basically, and I started off making compost tea. See, a long time ago when I was making compost, and I make sure when the key to making, I sure do exactly right. So Scotty, is there any way we can put him on? No, he doesn't have a camera or nothing, right? But I bet you, Scotty, that you make the best compost in the world, right? Say yes.
Sure. Yeah. Scotty makes the best compost in the world.
Now you said it, but he was supposed to say it.
There's lag. Okay, he's got to type and stuff.
Think about the answer, and so the point is that, see, what I do if I was just to spray compost tea on people's property, they would still have to fertilize to some extent. They would still have to get some organic fertilizer. He says, I do. I now pronounce you right.
Composted.
So when I started, I was making compost tea. I figured that should be enough. It's got the microbes, it's got everything in it, and you spray. But I was still getting issues, getting problems with plants. Things were going on, and they were telling me basically, well, then you spray this organic thing or that organic thing or this thing to it. See what I mean? And so I get, well, that means that the compost tea is not doing what it's supposed to do, because you're supposed to keep it happy and healthy. That means you don't have to feed it. You don't have to give anything to it. So that means I got to put that into the compost tea. So the best compost tea is made from the best compost that you can possibly be made. Now, one of the systems I'm pretty sure Scotty probably has heard about it, maybe everybody else here hasn't, that would be biodynamic farming, biodynamic system, which allows you to make really, really good compost. So I just recently ran into a person here in Malibu, and he has a video, and I probably could have brought it on so you can see, but I wasn't sure what they will say. You're copywriting somebody else's video, all that kind of stuff. But basically, he covers the biodynamic system of how they make their compost. We're not going to be talking about how you make compost here, but the issue would be what I'm trying to say is when you make biodynamic, one of the things you definitely use is cow manure. Definitely use cow manure in that process. Now, of course, in the biodynamic system, they use all kinds of plants that are rich in the different minerals, to add to the mix. As we talk about a lot about weeds, weeds bring up minerals. Well, every plant breaks out minerals. So you get to know what plants have what minerals, and you compost those in your compost process. That way, you're ensuring that you have the biology and the minerals.
Yeah, the building blocks.
Right. So I being a lazy guy that I am, I basically have when I made compost, I was making it up until 1984, 86, up to 89, something like that. But you really need a farm to make a big giant pile of compost. You can't do that. I can't do that in my backyard because my neighbor will go, "What are you doing over there?
You're stinky."
Yeah, and sometimes it does go through that process of stinking a little bit. But so I eventually developed a way of adding. So I ran across rock dust. And rock dust to me was a really simple way. What does he say? Ew, what does he say? Insect foe.
Well, let's start with he makes two different types. He makes one for indoor and one for outdoor. And then he's adding insect frost, aloe molasses, and microbes. MAB, some coconut powder. I also make a nutrient tea.
Good for you. See, so the people who are here are a little bit way ahead of the crowd. Okay, they're way ahead, and it's a process. I was talking to somebody. It's like learning to cook. In the beginning, you burn everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And as you get better and better at it, you make better and better food. And so essentially, that's happened with me after over many years of doing stuff. I've gotten into. Stop it! I'm not here. Let's see what it is.
That's you, man.
It's for me. Oh no, it's the other one. I should have turned this off somehow. I don't even know how to do that anymore. I don't know how to turn these off anymore. I know I can sit on it. So
don't break the screen. Don't break the screen.
So my point would be is that my compost. I don't really make compost tea anymore, even though technically I do, because in the earthworm. So in the earthworm process, why are people doing this? That's one of my customers.
Okay.
So why? What was I saying? Where was I?
You're talking about compost and rock dust and mineralizing, using your medicinal plants for the soil or weeds. Putting it all together to make that compost.
I remember. So basically, I stopped making compost because I ended up living in a basically urban environment where you don't really have much of a yard to make compost. You don't have a big backyard to work with, or and lots of other places there. They weren't mine. I was renting. No way you're gonna make a pile of poop over here or do any of that stuff. I even changed my method of making compost. I went and started using making bins. I would make my compost inside the bins. I would have 4 bins and rotate it from one to the other one to the other one, which was cool too. But that's really good for people who are young and can actually do a lot of tilting and turning over and all that kind of stuff to make their compost. So I came upon, like I said, I'm lazy, so I went ahead and started. So my worm farm has compost in it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So in essence, I do have compost tea, but it's also worm tea.
Well, and that's what Scotty was saying, that EWC, that's earthworm castings.
Right, earthworm castings. So when you have worms, you're going to have lots of earthworm castings.
Yeah.
Okay, and they can, I don't know if worm castings are the eggs, see, aren't they the eggs? Or is that the manure? No, that's the manure of the worm.
That's the manure, yeah.
Which is water soluble, right? So when I wash the worms, I'm actually washing the worm castings into my liquid. But I also use compost tea. Finally, I found a source of really good compost, and let me see. It's this lady.
Maybe you should send her a text and go, can I call you back? I'm live on air right now.
Yeah. No, I'll text her later. She's having a hard time because she thinks I go there regularly. I only go once a month or twice a month now. So okay. I have to find out what's going on, but I don't have the time now. I will later on and talk to her, But so my worm juice is really a really good combination, because I can literally take the compost that I add to my worm bin and make a tea out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then still do the worm juice and then blend it together. But I put the compost into the worm bin as part of the process. So basically, I have a very rich mixture, and that's what you really need. You need. So I was talking to somebody just the other day, and he was saying, "Well, I know what microbes I needed for oak trees. I says, I know specifically what microbes to use for oak trees to control the oak tree disease. Even though he's not doing it, but he says, that's the microbe that you need to control the oak trees. And I was trying to tell him, well, don't tell Mother Nature that, because Mother Nature does not tell one microbe to do this. They usually say, okay, everybody get together and we all do this. So it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And that's part of the secret, because when I started doing this, I would run into chemists and they would say, well, you need 1 pound of calcium, 1 pound of phosphorus, another pound of this, another pound of that, mix them together, and that's your fertilizer. And that's what the plants are going to get. He doesn't even consider the biology at all, or the whole process that it goes into.
No understanding. Yeah.
No understanding whatsoever. And so there's no wonder that even after all that, they still have to spray something for something. And the solar logic is, this is normal. This is what you do. You spray this chemical or that, and you spray these things to control it. This is nothing. The feeding has nothing to do with the chemical, with the problems that the plants have. They don't relate to the two together. They don't relate to that. What they eat is controls how they feel, how they're healthy or not. So I learned right off the bat that I know, because this guy was a very famous scientist. He was really talking about the process that plants use phosphorus. One of the things I learned from him was how to use soft rock phosphate.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's the main thing I got from him. Other than he was the one that really talked a lot about bricks and the refractometer, all that kind of stuff. That was very good too. But I walked away with the knowledge that I needed, and then I applied that. That's what I do. I take stuff from everybody and I just put it together, because I said, no, that's good, that's not good. So, but and there's still this process going on with people who are very informative, like this. I have this friend who's an arborist. I just met him. Called the Tree Walker. I want to have him on our show. It's called the Tree Walker. And here's an arborist that does not use chemicals. He refuses to use chemicals, and he tells people, basically a more cultural thing. Let's mulch. He hasn't really gotten into the compost of the soil yet. He said, but let's mulch. Let's control your water. And he says he's totally organic, but I keep asking him, well, are you using compost? How are you fertilizing? What is it you're doing? I'll give you an example. There's one customer has a big giant place of several hundred palm trees. One palm tree has a phytopthora, which is a disease. And basically it attacks the palms and it doesn't allow them to have their nutrition. Guess what, right? They don't, they're not, somehow the disease, and basically the way it starts, and the same thing with the greening disease, basically. But okay. Wait.
Yeah, how can you tell this is live, guys? The phone's going off.
I need to. Maybe I should unplug it. Can you hear it?
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Sorry guys, I'm sorry. I'll smash the phone. There it is. I smashed it. I know what to do. I lost it. There it is. I'm here.
Well, see, you're invisible, Andy. You went back to being the invisible gardener.
This guy is crazy. So he has all these trees, all these palms, and his one palm has a disease. And so he wanted me to do something. So he wanted me to tell him, how much would it take to heal that tree? He says, how many sprays can you do in one spray? You go there and spray the tree and heal it, right? And so I said, okay, so here's the thing. The palm and it's just the same like with the green. Remember, I keep saying that the bugs attack the plant because it's food for them. Hi, Dank, right? It's food for them. And the same thing with the disease. The disease will attack a plant because it's food for the disease, plant, right? The disease, right? And so, and the reason why it becomes food is because it's missing some very important trace minerals. So if you were to make your compost a normal way, you would be lacking those very important trace minerals. No way you're going to get them, because it should be in the soil, normally would be in the soil. Mother Nature puts it in the soil, but if the cycle is interrupted, we no longer have billions and trillions of animals doing their thing, pooping, dying, putting the biology back in again, right? I tell people, when's the last time something died in your backyard and decomposed and returned to your soil? So when you're making your compost, research. I don't believe everything. That's what got me in trouble in the first place.
You keep going down more and more rabbit holes,
all the time, brother, all the time. So it's important for people to understand that. And here, the greening disease is a perfect example because it's a disease that attacks citrus, for example. And it's greening because it doesn't allow the tree to turn green. It gets very, very light. It doesn't get the nutrients it needs, and it finally dies. And they spray all kinds of chemicals. I was telling you about Ohio. They have all these citrus groves, and they spray these amazing chemicals, Roundup, and all these things that kills people. People are dying left and right, and nobody can sue them. The workers are dying in the field. The plane comes, they take them away. Another worker, right? And so it's very difficult to explain to them that you're going about it all wrong. You're attacking. Okay, let's kill the bug. Let's kill the damn bug, right? Let's kill that bug before it attacks the tree. And I'm going, the bug is doing its job. The bug is supposed to attack the tree. The bug is trying to recycle the tree. Just like when we get a disease, it's trying to
compost it, Andy. It's trying to compost that tree.
Exactly right. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what the ants do. The ants recycle. Everything's about recycling. Bring everything back into the soil. And so there's nothing wrong. And they're not evil. These bugs are not evil. They're just doing this thing what they have genetically been bred to do. Yeah. And so I have discovered through practice, because I learned that, and like I said, I discovered rock dust, and then recently, I think maybe the last 20 years, I learned about C90, SEA 90.
Yeah.
So it's got 90.
It's California.
Yeah, so it's called C90 because it has 90 trace minerals. And I was watching this really cool lady on YouTube. She's a doctor, and she's basically saying, you need 90 trace minerals in your body. And the trace minerals are the glue that holds everything together in your body. The trace minerals are the glue that holds everything together in your body. You're missing that one trace mineral, you're going to have some of these serious problems in your stomach, your lungs, your kidney, whatever, right? Yeah. And so it's just the very same thing that's going on with the plants. Yeah. And so it goes back to trace minerals again, right? It goes back to trace minerers. If you're not
biology, don't forget the biology.
Of course. But I was just one more step. I was going to say, if you're not adding the trace minerals to your biology, then you're not certain, and you think that biology is going to get it out of the ground. The odds are, unless you're doing it in some place that really has never been farmed, and the man hasn't been there in a long time, all that kinds of stuff. Because then it'll be rich. It'll have all the nutrients it needs, and the biology is there. You don't need to add the biology, as a matter of fact, right? It's there already.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
Doing its thing, right? You don't need to add it. But in places where you need to add it, it's basically because there's no biology there. And there's no biology, the odds are greatly that the trace minerals are gone also. It's lacking in certain, it's usually very rich in other things because that's the normal way that, you end up having lots of, sometimes iron is one of the major deficiencies that's lacking, but there's also these crazy trace minerals that you don't get. They have to be brought in by nature, right?
Yeah, so we are volcanoes blowing up and putting it in their atmosphere.
The volcanoes and the way the nature makes this stuff, because a lot of times it's not just volcano. A meteor can come and crash into the earth and spit all this stuff around, or the underground, the lava, the molten lava underground. That melts all these minerals together, right? And when it spits, it goes around the earth. Ice ages, they spread out and they crush all the rocks and return the minerals. And the minerals end up from one part of the earth to another part of the earth. It's amazing how they travel. It's just like the toxins. The toxins are following at the same path that Mother Nature recycles. So if Mother Nature spreads these minerals all over the world, man spreads all these toxins all over the world using the very same system. So you have this plastic you find everywhere in the world, right? No place you can find that. So that basically, to me, means that it's flowing along the same path that all these minerals that Mother Nature has for us to gets around the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well,
so
and Andy, you also have to consider it's not just the volcanoes, but in our oceans, when the water is picked up, there's actually minerals attached to those water molecules that gets rained down on us as well. It's Mother Nature had this figured out. We're the ones that kept chopping up the cycle with this knife, and now we're going, oh my God, we got to get back into this cycle of life. And that's where the compost is amazing, and making a tea or an extract from that is just perfect. And like Scotty was saying earlier, I think it was Scotty, having one for a veg cycle and one for the flower cycle, because even with trees, with apple trees, people say they're only putting out apples every second year. It always used to be every year, but they don't have the nutrients for them to flip from veg to fruiting. And that's where your compost teas that you're making, Andy, would be amazing for something like that.
So when you said about the water, it's absolutely true, because Mother Nature, remember, Mother Nature is very good at intertwining her systems together, right?
Yep.
So she intertwines, just like in the human body, everything's intertwined, and the biology is intertwined. Well, the recycling process is all intertwined. The water has an amazing way of, that's what it does. It transfers minerals. Not only minerals, but we talked about data, that it transfers structure. She makes structured water that holds more minerals. The minerals have our data.
Yeah.
The water is just data, basically. This is iron, this is calcium, this is right. And it has to be in such a form that the water can retain it and then pass it on. So that's a natural cycle, but we have really, as you said, chopped it up. We have made it very difficult for the flow of things to normally happen that way have been happening for millions of years. Yeah. And you would think that we have so much of this stuff, doesn't matter how much we use, you're still going to have it. No, it's called soil depletion. I call it soil depletion, right? And we farm the heck out. A lot of homeowners have a very unique problem, is that when they build a home, they scrape the soil away. They literally just scrape it all away and then put a construction sand, build a house on it, and then they bring some stuff back that they call soil. Not the same soil that's been there, or not any good rich soil. It's just some junk they put down, and that's what they grow on. So they're not going to have the minerals. They're just not going to have it. And if you apply or get chemical fertilizers to it, it's like cocaine for the soil. They're going to grow, all right. They're going to grow. They're going to get really sick, and then they're going to be so stressed out, the bugs are going, whippy, time to eat. So when you're making your tea, you want to mimic Mother Nature. You want to have a blend of all the trace minerals you can get your little hands on.
Yeah.
When I was doing it, when I was really young, I used to buy I still have it right in my back here. I have 14 different types of rock dust in containers.
Yeah.
14 different kinds of rock dust from 14 different places. I was going to say around the world, but I can't ship stuff from Africa and other places. It's too expensive to ship stuff. But at least I get it from Canada, Central America, and United States. And there are companies who are shipping, and I'm happy to. I think we talked about some of those companies a long time ago. I think we mentioned what they are, where you can get. Alaska's a real good place. Alaska, as a matter of fact, is a prime place to get various different types of rock dust from, because of Mother Nature is still in the process of the glacial process is still going on over there. They're finding lots and lots of things and these are the C90 is an ancient seabed. Yeah, it's an ancient seabed. That's why it has a 90 trace mineral. And any water that the ocean would take it and spread it around. So one of the things we have to basically key into is two things. We want to have a wide range of minerals, as much different sources of minerals as we can. So I use C90. I have the rock dust. I know what type of powder. I get powdered seaweed. So seaweed has the trace minerals in it too. Kelp is very rich in a variety of other different trace minerals. And so there's a variety of other things. But when we talked about the yesterday, we were here yesterday. Making microbial tea from things like sprouts. There are different trace minerals in there as well. So each plant have its own different trace minerals that they're really they specialize in bringing and carrying, that they give to you. The green, the doctor was talking about all the green plants and vegetables, how they have a specific type of minerals that are very good for your body: phosphorus, potassium, the calcium, that those kind of things that our body needs. But you still lack. And then she, very smart, she says you take a pinch of Celtic salt, and Celtic salt has iodine and 90 trace minerals. I go, bingo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I use that myself. So you want to get two things in the making of your compost. You want to have a wide range of different types of animal manures in it. The more variety of the animal manure, the better, because they each have different microbial life that comes with each animal. There's 7 types of rock dust, right? Well, I maybe consider types. When I say 12, I mean from 12 different places around the earth. Maybe not different types. He says he has 7 types. Maybe he means 7 different companies of rock dust, right?
Yeah, just a large 7 varieties of rock dust.
Right, because they're not 7 different types. Even though
like you said, diversity is key.
Exactly, and that's what it's very difficult to teach to people. You don't sit down and eat just lettuce. You eat lettuce, tomato, all kinds of other stuff together, and it's very logical that that's exactly what we need to do for the plant. So any disease, because I was talking to this arborist, and he says, "Well, so when I took this test I took this test about 6 months ago. Recently, I got a 97 in diagnosis and treatment. 97 out of 100.
Okay.
So I didn't pass the test because I failed in the ropes. What kind of ropes you use for climbing? Safety use of tools and drills and stuff. I don't use any of that stuff. Urban farming I failed, so I look and see what do you mean by urban farming. For me, I said if you have a cafe outside under a tree, that's okay. You just have to keep the tree healthy. Otherwise, branches will fall down on people and stuff like that. You can't. But I was wrong. Obviously, there's something else you want to do with trees when people are sitting underneath, and I have no idea what it is because I have no idea. So I have to. They don't tell you the answer. You were wrong, and I'm not going to tell you what the answer is. So I got to figure it out. But the key to understanding, you see, you don't even need to know the disease or the pest.
That's right.
You seriously do not need to know it. I get told all the time, what disease is this? Well, let me look it up. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Does that help you at all? No, because it doesn't. So you know the disease. It's not like, so if you were a chemical guy, you will get this chemical and spray for that disease. Get this chemical and spray for that disease. It does not solve the problem. It doesn't solve like these guys spraying Roundup, all the stuff for their citrus. Yeah, it kills the bug that's the vector, and it does. If the bug doesn't get to the plant, but they spray like twice a month, deadly chemicals, and the 27 times a month they spray. 27 times a month. You have to keep spraying because the bugs keep coming. And the bugs
and then they kill us because we're eating those oranges. Bonus.
Yeah, exactly right. Because it doesn't go away. It goes into the food. It's in the food. It's in the peels. And one of the worst parts is it kills the soil biology. Anybody you left, it kills it because they spray the soil as well. They said the bug is coming from the ground. They go, so, and it doesn't solve the problem. It's very good for the sellers of the chemicals, like doctors. It doesn't solve your problem. You keep coming back for more of that chemical, and you're basically you are killing yourself, your children, all animals. There's this thing about. In this movie I was watching, poor dog was out there, got on his feet, died within a few hours. There was a worker that have a video of it. Went into a spasmodic attack, died. The plane literally went over those guys and sprayed them. And then the guys out there with face mask spraying stuff. Oh yeah, it's very bad for me, but you're okay. People walk right by. But that's another story there. But so what people have to get into through their heads is that they have to concentrate on these two things: that make the best compost you can make from a wide variety of animal manure, wide variety of plants. Because people say, well, if you're just using organic food, you're fine. That's assuming that the organic gardener was doing the right thing, that was introducing bringing. That's what they mean by dense food. I
Yeah.
think, right? It's rich in minerals.
Yeah.
But if you was to examine those minerals, you will find that's also lacking in certain exotic trace minerals. So
Well,
you're
yeah,
eating.
people, Andy, people can actually look up the history of the how do I want to say it, the nutrient content in our foods.
Yeah,
And if you look back in the 20s, the 40s, it's just been going down, down, and down. Like you can eat, one apple and get X amount in the 20s, and now you'd have to eat a barrel of apples. You get the same nutrition out of that. It's just absolutely insane what we're doing to not only our planet but ourselves.
well, here's one more step beyond that. There's really nothing in these food. Maybe fiber, maybe a little bit of sugar, but when
Mhm.
it comes to minerals, it's not there. It's not there. That's why they don't last very long in the store. That's why they
Yeah.
spray them with stuff to keep them from rotting on you. You can get an organically grown apple and a chemically grown apple, put them down together, and you're going to find out which is the one that rots first.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The other one would be just stay there forever, and the other ones just start rotting. The worms would die if I was to
And
give them that.
one thing I want to let people understand is I was a truck driver for a couple of decades, and one of the things they do with all these fruits and vegetables you're buying at the store, they're green in the warehouse, and then they pump chemicals into the reefer trailer, okay, to start the ripening process, so that when it gets to the store, it's looking ripe, but yet it's still green. It was never finished properly. And they then, when it's before it gets to the store, they put in a different chemical to stop the first chemical. So even if it's organic on the farm,
Right,
in
right,
transport, it's being
exactly.
sprayed with bloody
And
chemicals.
they do it on the boat, on the ships,
Oh yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah,
ships,
yeah.
on the ships and stuff. Because I learned that a long, long time ago. I said, wait a minute, I'm buying this organic banana from this country, but this country is gassing them before it gets here, and then it gasses them again before we get it,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
it defeats the whole purpose of eating organically.
yeah,
Right, it defeats the whole purpose. And no wonder people are sick because they're missing all the basic nutrients that they need, which will
yeah,
cause the diseases and the pests. Very same thing with the plants and the trees. Very,
mhm,
very, to me, Mother Nature does not reinvent the wheel for everything. It just takes the very same thing and redesigns it a little differently, right?
well,
I'm
it's
going to make
like
this.
humans and trees and animals. It's all the same basic biology. It's all the same basic building blocks,
Different
just
design.
put together a little bit. A different design. Yes.
Exactly right. And that's exactly so. It everything matches. I tell people all the time. You understand how medicine works, and you understand how agriculture works. You're going to find that it's a mirror.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
mirror. And I truly believe that the owners who own the chemical companies are also own the doctors, own the medical companies. You
well, if
know.
you go far enough up the chain, there's only a very small limited group at the very top that own all of the corporations. So it doesn't matter. It's all owned by the top crew, and they dictate what's supposed to do what and who's supposed to make money, who's
Yeah.
supposed to lose money, so they can write it off on the taxes. And oh yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nasty,
And
nasty mess.
And so so when you're doing this, by the way, watercress is one of the best seeds.
Okay.
Watercress. Watercress is very high in the maximum. Watercress is like a weed. It really pulls up minerals. It really pulls. But if you provide any minerals to it, it pulls that up too, because that's the nature of a lot of these plants. If you bring them in
Mhm.
contact with minerals in the form they can absorb, they will suck it right up. And watercress happens to be one of those. There you go. She'll eat your watercress any
Yeah,
day,
yeah, yeah.
any day. And that's why she gets to be so old. That's my part of my secret too, is that I
Mhm.
really, really enjoy certain vegetables. When you eat it, you know you're getting the minerals because your body goes, "Oh, that is so nice." Whoa!
Yeah.
And I've always been on a quest. I've always been on a
Quest.
quest to
Mhm.
find sources of minerals that I can eat that I can enjoy into my body, and then I always
Yeah.
translate that sources of minerals to my plants.
Hmm.
And again, the most important thing that people need to understand is that you have to have 90 trace minerals, 90. So the odds are, if you just do it, normal person making compost, you're not going to have a 90, and you're going to have some bugs and disease. You go to the store and say, oh yeah, spray some sulfur or spray this or spray that. If you're organic, they have all tons of organic things that you can use, and
Hmm.
which is only a makeup. It only temporarily makes it work. It goes away because that's the function of the chemical that they use to destroy that bacteria or destroy that pest. But it
Hmm.
doesn't get rid of the bacteria keep coming back because it's in the soil, it's in the environment. And
Hmm.
so they spray the soil, right? They spray the soil for it. Let's get rid of the bacteria in the soil. They don't get it that the bacteria, that the chemical that the spray doesn't say, okay, you're good or you're bad. Oh, you're good, you're fine. You're bad, we spray you. Okay. It doesn't, it's not selective. It just gets rid of everything.
Well, exactly. It's a broad spectrum. It's just like, you go to the doctor and you get penicillin, or an antibiotic. You put that in your mouth, it goes in your gut. It's killing off a massive amount of biology you need in your gut. So, how are you getting it back? It was supposed to be coming from our food that we're eating. And since it's not, how are you getting the biology back in your own body, let alone the nutrients? The carbon, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the magnesium, you need the biology to break that down to put it into your body. But anytime you go and you take that, oh yeah, I'm gonna, I got a cold, I got the sniffles, doc, give me antibiotics, you're hurting and yourself every single time you're doing it.
It should be called anti-biology.
Yeah, pretty much.
Instead of antibiotics. It should be antibiotic. And then the bio is in there, antibio.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it does tell you it's all about anti-biology. And it's the same thing with the trees and the plants and the bees. And
Yeah.
all those creatures all require the very same process to be available to them as us
Mhm.
humans. And so
Mhm.
as humans are getting sick, everything else is getting sick around them because they tend to do the same thing with everything, with the farming industry, the same thing in the homeowners. The system is not set up for the increasing the biology, it's set up to destroy the biology.
Yeah.
You can only destroy biology for so long before there's no biology to destroy. And if you don't have any biology, yeah, doctors are the real drug dealers.
Not all of them. There are some good ones. It's just rare to find them. Okay.
Yeah, it's very rare to find them, and I've learned that from experience because I can't talk to my Medicare people and I can't talk to the VA. They are really druggies. They will, and they don't sell it. They give it to me. They give it to me. Here,
Yeah. Yeah.
you need this, you need this, and you need that. And I go, no, I don't. That's not what I want. What I
Well,
need
and
to do is eat better.
I'd like to bring up Silly Lily's point here. I refuse to buy antibacterial soaps, etc., for that very reason. They're creating a situation that will give us super bugs that are resistant to antibiotics.
Exactly right. So like go to the store, you buy this disinfectant, and you're spraying everywhere,
Yeah,
right?
immune
So you're
system is built with biological health. It's all about the biology. Exactly, Scotty.
right. So what I use vinegar when I spray to clean. I would refuse to
Yep.
use any disinfectant because we're also getting that into our system as well. You
Hmm.
can't tell me you hold your breath, or you can't tell me that you don't absorb this stuff through your skin. So we're
Yeah.
basically are developing to be a kill society where we're going to really kill everything.
Well, and
That's
the
our
thing
goal.
is,
And things like
Andy, people don't understand that there's a balance in nature. And once we tip that balance too far, all those dominoes are going to go click, 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 click. And that's our entire planet. Once we lose the biology, we're done. We don't exist anymore.
so I was telling this arborist, I said, you need to concentrate on the soil. There's no
Yeah.
soil. Yeah, that's right. He said, well, there's no soil here. I said, that's right. So what does that tell you? You need to pass on to your customers the importance of having soil. This is
Yeah.
substrate. It's what the layer that's usually found below the soil. You have not allowed the soil, the earth, to regenerate the soil that it normally would do. Take away people, and the soil will start to build up again. Leaves fall, animals die, all kinds of things fall down, decompose. Organic matter, and it's just the right proportion. Everything works out just really great, and you have this really cool biology that then promotes the life of everything else. And they don't have these diseases. You go back 1,000 years, 10,000 years, whatever, and try to find these diseases in plants and trees. Then they don't have it. They don't have the diseases that we have now. Same thing with humans. Cancer was not around until recently. It hasn't been in the ancient time. In Roman times, you hear Julius Caesar talk. I say, I have cancer.
No.
Right.
They didn't have
things. Go ahead, man. Say it.
A lot of things that we have nowadays, we've caused by the medical practices that we have, and a lot of it's the first world countries. And you look at the Eastern medicines, whether it's China, Japan, a lot of those civilizations that have been around for tens of thousands of years using herbalism, they had it right. They knew what to do to get the root cause of the problem, not just the symptoms. Our medical system wants to treat the symptoms by giving you a bunch of drugs, which causes other symptoms so they can give you more drugs. And it's the same with our soils. That's what they've been doing. Better crops by chemicals. Yeah, everybody.
I'll give you an example. Castor oil.
Yeah.
Castor oil has been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years by all different, any society that can get their hands on it. The Egyptians were using it. The Romans used it. And this is a plant. This comes from a plant. Now, I myself, I have on my cabinet, maybe we should do a show on it. I have lavender, I have eucalyptus, I have citrus oil, I have pennyroyal oil, I have a coconut oil. Coconut oil is absolutely amazing. Coconut absorbed by our body is a specific kind of chemical reaction that happens in our body. Our body goes cuckoo, yeah. Same thing with sunflower oil. And these are, and so for the longest time, they made their own stuff. They grew it and they made it.
Yeah.
And that was very different than we make it, literally make it, invent it, create this thing, because we're not going to, if that works for Mother Nature, we're going to take that substance that works and we're going to create just the substance. Like, for example, nitrogen. So they made urea. They say, okay, we created urea. Urea is 4600, right? And that's what you need, urea. But nitrogen in nature is maybe 2%, and the other 98% is biology. Yeah. And all kinds of biology comes with it, right? All kinds of biology comes, and all kinds of trace metals come with it. It's never one single product. Never one thing.
Andy, I just want to point out one thing, and like you're saying, it comes with it. It comes with it. It comes with it, and that's true because you think that biology is built out of the components. It's built out of calcium, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus. It's the biology that's built, and then other biology eats that, poops it out, and oh, hey, that's perfect for my plant over here. I'll ship it over here and build a leaf. Bonus! But it's already there in the biology. That's where mulching and compost is so important, to cover that dirt and turn it back into soil, to hold the moisture in and to give homes for the biology.
So if you ever walked in a forest, you'll find that you literally will sink into the soil.
Oh, yes.
You literally sink into it knee high and you're going, what the heck? Because as things fall, Mother Nature is just layering everything down, different kinds of things, layer. And after thousands of years, it's like, just like I was here in front. I'm really amazed at this little island there with the street next to it and the house next to it. How can anything survive in there? If you dig down just a little bit, who's why?
I don't know, but you're Uncle Andy now, brother.
Uncle Andy, I like that. I bet you it's a woman. Are you a lady? Why? Doesn't say, right?
No.
So what we have to do is we just have to be really clear. Our goal is to get these minerals, and we have to get these minerals to the biology. And therefore, we need to get the biology together. And again, I love it that you call it the biology, because I used to say microbes, and not all. So I was talking to a lady the other day. She says, "What's the difference between enzymes and microbes?" All enzymes are microbes, but not all microbes are enzymes.
He's a dude.
Oh, rats. And so we have to really do imitate the way Mother Nature does. And she never cooks any one thing. She makes a soup, a wonderful blend of everything together. And in there, you're going to find everything you need. So you have different plants. They're all going to get what they need, which is absolutely amazing. That's the way it works. And the biology has an amazing way of taking iron, breaking it into a form of iron that the plants can use. We can't do that. So imagine we give them, I tell people, chew some rock dust and let's see what happens. Go ahead. Right? Take them out.
Get some charcoal in there so their mouth goes all black and they get, start foaming and sorry.
Right. And so that's, I love giving simple examples, because people are basically dumb and they've been dumbed out. They're dumbed out because the food that they eat, beer, booze, alcohol. And I love Barbara O'Neill, by the way. She's one of my favorite people to listen to. I've been watching her for a long, long time. And so I've been doing these things myself for a long time. I have a great book that I could highly recommend to everybody, Survival into the 21st Century by Victor Kovinskis. Survival into the 21st Century. This was published in the early 70s. I met the man briefly, and I was into fruit. Sprouts, for example. I got into sprouts a long time ago. Why? The juice that you soak the water that you soak the sprouts in, we talked about that's called Rejuvilac. Remember we talked about Rejuvilac. It has all the biology in it your body needs. And in one way, I don't want to spray that to other plants. I want to take it for myself. Right?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, we can take a lot of these things in ourselves. Like, okay, rock dust. Okay, you're putting it into your sprayer, spraying it on your plants. Well, you're putting it into water, so put a little pinch in your own water, stir it up, and drink it. Then you're getting the stuff in your own belly. Maybe your biology will go, hey, I haven't had that component in decades.
No. So the biology in our body is not capable. It's not the same biology in the soil. Mother Nature is very smart. She said, okay, in the soil, this biology can take rock dust and break it down. Your biology cannot. You have to eat it from somebody who already ate it, who ate it. That's the whole process. You spray. So the reason why I spray, you can actually make a liquid spray from rock dust. It's very easy to do. But you're spraying it for the plants to digest, or the biology of the plants to digest. And then we eat the plant, which has converted the rock dust into a form that we can process. See, right? Because you cannot process your biology. It's only limited to the stomach you have here. You don't have access to the trillions and trillions and trillions of biology that they have been genetically geared over the billions of years, millions of years to do this. And that's why that's what's so cool about it. We have to eat something. It's a chain of a food chain, for example, right? You have to eat something that digested it, so you can eat something that digested, and so on. And that's really the whole process that we have to learn. So we have to provide the trace minerals to the biology, and then the biology will provide it to the plants. If you're not doing that, if you have good biology, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with biology. It just means you're going to be deficient in certain trace minerals. It means you're going to have a problem down the road, because these trace minerals are important for certain functions in the plant. If that doesn't happen to the plant, then the bugs will know it.
Well, yeah, and then your plant's not as healthy. It's not putting together the complex sugars and carbohydrates. It's putting the easier ones that the bugs can eat instead of the more complex ones that the bugs can't. And you're just going, hey, bug, come here, eat me, because I'm not healthy. So break me up and mulch me down, make me compost, and maybe Andy will make some tea out of me, and I'll be healthy in the next plant.
Just like with a refractometer, when you look through it, it tells you the Brix level. So it's this very same thing with humans. I don't think we have a Brix level, even though you can use a refractometer on blood. They do that to tell you what's going on, the alkaline or whatever, see what minerals are in there. but it's the very same scenario. You have to have. It's no coincidence. Everything that we need, the plants and the soil needs as well, because we have to get it from the plants. I don't know if anybody can magically create plants. You have to grow it.
I know somebody that magically creates plants. It's called Mother Nature, and she
Yeah,
just
yeah.
magically created all this
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, and that's what you have to do. So in terms of controlling diseases and pests, because that's what you want. You want to have really healthy plants. You can tell the refractometer just gives you an idea. Yeah, I'm doing really good because I have high Brix level and I'm doing the right things. See, the higher up you go, the more nutrition that you want. More for you. That's the whole goal. Is, wow, this is a 28. I'm going to eat that because I know it's going to have lots of trace minerals for me, as opposed to a 12 or a 10. You're going to go, well, that's not, remember I said before, which would you eat if you had a Brix reading and one at 20 and one at 12, you go 20 without having to know anything. I'll get the 20, right? Anybody would say, give me the one with a 20, right? I don't take the 12 or a 3, right? Imagine
Now,
having
you know what
food
really be funny, Andy, is to have one apple or one tomato at like the high number, one at a mid number, one at the low, and have slices and say, okay, taste these and see which one you prefer, and then like do a blind taste test and then go, see, people, look at this.
Yeah, you're right. But Mother Nature got smart. She said, okay, we're going to make things that are sweet are good for you. Things that are sour are basically not going to be so good for you. It could be poison. It could be toxic. Stay away from those things. So we've learned to eat sweet things because we know that the sweet things have more nutrients in it for our body. And again, Mother Nature has figured out, well, you like sugar, we're going to make sugar a carrier of the trace minerals. In our bodies, it's not the same thing. We can't eat. It's one thing to eat. That's why, for example, an apple is very sweet. I would eat it, and I know it has the trace minerals. So that's the whole process when we eat sweet foods and whatever we eat. We want to eat something that tastes good for us, and we know we're going to get the minerals. If it doesn't taste good, there's something wrong. You're not going to eat it. You have to force yourself to eat it. And so that's what it comes down to when you're making your tea. You want to make the best compost tea ever, one that really works. Because a lot of people, I was talking to you about earlier before we started the show, how I've been in the business a long time, and within the past 10 years, more and more people are making compost tea than ever. More and more people are making compost than ever. But more and more people are not making really good. It doesn't have all the trace minerals. It's missing, and that's what they don't understand. What is Why saying?
Silly is saying sugar processed is toxic to our bodies.
Exactly.
It dampens our immune systems. That's where, Andy, you're talking about natural sugars and not the processed sugars.
What does White say about me? Because he said something bad about me. I can't read the little letters. I know it's bad. Sounds bad.
Andy was the first person I heard talking about the refractometer. Is Brix levels need to be between 15 and 20.
Why? The Brix level goes up even higher, my friend. I've had Brix levels in the 30s. The 20 is like the bottom level of what I consider to be amazing. Anything above the 20, when you get to the 30, you people are going to fight for your food. Animals are going to fight for your food. Look, when I have an organic garden, rabbits come and go, oh my God, this vegetable is amazing, and they eat it up. I said, you can't blame the rabbit. You can't blame the rabbit for eating the best food he can get his little hands on. Like, you can tell. And that's what it's really all about. And that's why I am really good at controlling diseases and pests, only because I make the best liquid available to mankind, really, literally. The stuff I go through thousands of dollars to buy all these different things from all different places, and throughout the year I throw that away. It's no good. This works. The only way I know it works because I would spray. I'll come back the next month. I go, holy cow, what happened here? Matter of fact, people call me. I don't know what you did. I went away for a week and came back, and wow. And if it doesn't work, it'll still be there. Its disease will still be there. I'm going, there's something missing with this product. Like Leighton was doing his testing to see what mycorrhizas in product and what mycorrhizas are not. Again, the labeling and the whole process of buying stuff from people is very tricky because you have to find somebody that actually making the right product. That's why I like using Acres USA. It's called Acres USA. You go to acresusa.com, tell them Andy Lopez, the Mystical Gardener, sent you, and I get 20%. No, but Acres USA is run by organic farmers, good old boys. And they're very same thing. They use stuff that works. not
Yeah.
things that they're experimenting with. Hey, we've been using this for years and it works. Well,
Mhm.
use that. It's really
Well,
simple. You don't have to create the wheel over again. Just get a good car that works.
well, exactly, and understanding that you need to put, the components back in, whether it's the rock dust or whether it's a tee on a field. And like, I'm not talking like Andy, you're doing, residential, but when we can talk also about, large fields of anything, grains or anything, you can be doing this type of stuff, on those fields to get, your plants started, to give them the components
Right.
and the biology. The biggest thing we have to realize is the way our mechanical farming is ripping up the soil at the end of the season every single year. You're damaging the biology, and there are planters where you don't have to actually do that. It'll punch the seed down into the soil without having to disturb all that aggregation, all that life that has already been built there. We can lessen that. And it's so wonderful that we have things like compost, like worm castings. And then, like Andy, like you're saying, you're giving your compost to your worms, you're making a vermicompost, so the worms and the compost, and you're even stepping it up to that next level. And in that, I think, is one of the keys to everybody understanding this is how we can get the biology back into our systems, not just in our personal grows, but our lawns, our gardens, and our fields. It's just a matter of educating, and that's why we're here, and we're here every week, or try to be. And Andy, you've written books on this stuff, so I'm going to flash up your website so people can actually go and have a look at Andy's website, get onto his newsletter. He's writing articles, etc. You've been doing this for decades, Andy, and we appreciate everything that you do and the knowledge that you are bringing and sharing here. It's a wonderful thing, Andy.
Thank you. I make it look easy because after a while, cooking becomes easy. In the beginning, I should burn things. I should burn something today. I still have a tendency to walk away from the food. So it's a learning process. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. I've been playing with my refractometer, right? It's when I use a refractometer only because people don't believe me. So when I go to the store, that food is no good. Oh yeah, well here's a tool. Let's see what it says. Remember I told you I went to one place. It's a whole food place, right? It's organic, but they sell conventionally grown produce and organic. And I'm going conventionally grown. You mean chemically grown? You mean toxic pesticide? That's what you mean by chemically grown. Yeah, okay. I guess that's what we mean. Well, let's do a refractometer reading. We did citrus. The citrus had a 4, a level of 4, which is like what? And the organic one was a level of 15. So and the guy's looking at it and said, well, it's your tool is wrong. There's something wrong here. This is not right because this looks the same as that one. It looks the same, so it's got to be the same. It's just a nutritional. And I don't understand why these organic companies, these health food stores, can sell conventional produce and organic. I thought they should be. I guess people go in there because they buy the conventional stuff, thinking it's being sold in a health food place, therefore it's okay, and it's not. And like you said before, a lot of organic produce is being shipped right in the truck with the chemical produce.
That's right.
But
now I want to just point out, Super NASA here, Brix levels on viscous sap water is extremely high. And Lily asked him how high, but it's
in the 20s, 30s.
Yeah, you look at tree sap, that's coming up from as deep as that root is going and mixing all together. So it's amazing. If those trees are healthy, you're going to have some amazing numbers.
And the Brix breeding will change from the summertime to the wintertime. It'll change. Yeah. So you have to learn.
Well, in the wintertime here, the sap ain't moving, bro, because it
ain't moving.
Minus negative freezing here.
Right. It depends. I was going to say what wintertime, but over here we don't have that kind of snow. but you still have it cold enough to where everything slows down and the bricks level drops down a little bit as well, and the food drops down a little bit as well. So next week we have a list. Do you know what that is? What we're doing next week? Did we talk about it? Anyway, we'll be here next week.
Yeah, I can bring it up. I got to tell everybody about what's going on for the rest of the week. We've got on Friday on Conversation in Ken's Cafe, we have Ryan from Heavenly Hills Homestead. And then on Monday, we're going to be having I'm just trying to do two things at once, guys. Shane from Michael Love Farm. So we're getting back into mycelium mushrooms on Monday with Leighton Morrison. And rock dust, what is it and how to best use it is the next topic for next week, Andy.
You're going to talk about it?
It's your list, man. Hey, guys, just to let you know, Andy picks the titles for the show and he just sends me a list, and that's what we base everything on. So
we're going to talk about rock dust. Yeah, next week we're going to go over it again. I will include a variety of sources that I get my rock dust from. You want to learn how to use rock dust if you're making your compost. If you want to add that to your compost. What you want to do, and I'll cover it again with you, but the rock dust and the manure is a perfect blend together. The enzyme, the biology, and the manure sucks up that rock dust, and it stops the nutrition from leaching. When you're using manure, it has the tendency to leach really fast.
Yeah, and that's where feeding everything to your compost pile, letting the biology chew through it all, break all those components down, is the perfect way to go. And then doing a tea with it is the next level, guys. So
rather than just doing a tea of the rock dust by itself, you want to use it after you have it already added to your compost. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Wyatt. Thank you, Scotty. Beam me up, Scotty.